This is Ashley Hodge with the SicEm 365 post-game call-in show coming to you after Baylor's great win against Kansas, 75-69. Is that the final?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great win. The Bears got off to a great start. The crowd was incredible. Chris, we said we're going to have you back for a win, and no better win than to beat Kansas. It's the third time in a row we've beaten Kansas. 3 was kind of the theme for tonight because L.J. Cryer hit a lot of threes in the first half. It's Kansas's third loss in a row. Yep. They have 3 losses in the conference. Baylor only has 3 losses now after losing 3 in the row to start. So they've won 5 in a row in the conference. The Bears are now 15-5 and in pretty good shape, in the Big 12 after this win. Getting those 3 road wins was huge. Just kind of interesting looking at the standings here. Man, what a muddle. Like Ken Palm says, 11-7 is going to win it. And, the Bears are at 5-3. So, I like their chances to go, what would that be, 6-4 down the stretch?
Yep.
I think they can do that.
You can do that.
It's a call-in show. I've found that call-in shows are always better with calls. It's just my opinion.
I've only been here for 2 losses, so
yeah,
I bet we get a few more calls tonight. What do you think?
I hope we do. The call-in number is 254-339-1122. We would love to hear from you if you've got opinions, questions. Let's talk about some good things. First of all, we got to talk about Jalen Bridges.
Man,
what a performance by him again. He was terrific tonight. He plays terrific defense. That little sequence against McCullough, blocking both of those shots,
2 shots,
getting the ball back was incredible. He ends up with 11 points, and he gets 9 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. And he's only credited with 2 blocks, but I thought he blocked another one, too.
I think
he should have gotten credit for.
And 3 steals,
3 steals. Man, what a game from him. 143 offensive rating. That's terrific. L.J. Cryer was on fire in the first half. He cooled off in the second half, but he played terrific also. He ends up with 22 points. Adam Flagler made the plays when he needed to, had a tough night shooting, but he ends up with 17 points. And another off night for Keontae, but, Keontae did some good things in the second half. He's no turnovers. We love that.
Yep.
Langston Love, we got to give him his props, man. He came off the bench and did a terrific job. And Flo Thamba, we were talking about this at the game. 4 points, 2 rebounds, but his defense, switching ball screens, was tremendous. And really that was the name of the game. Baylor played lockdown defense and gave us some hope that the defense will, be championship level.
So besides the games where he's guarding Drew Timme, where he's really engaged, I haven't seen him that defensively engaged since the game that John got hurt last year, and he had to play big minutes against UT.
He was big.
He was big today.
All right, Jacob's on the board. We already got a call.
Yes, we've got a very important call. We got L.J. Cryer.
Man. Yes, sir.
The man of the first half here, and player of the game, L.J. Cryer.
L.J., thank you for calling in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Hey, what a terrific performance by you. How did you feel walking out to that crowd? I mean, that place was electric tonight, wasn't it?
It definitely was electric. It gave me an extra pep to my step. Hopefully we can get the crowd like that on Saturday.
Yeah, we need it.
It's sold out.
The game's sold out.
Yeah, so it's going to be that way.
Yeah, we're going to have a great crowd for Saturday, but we need this for every game.
Yep.
We got some big games ahead, and we got to protect home court. LJ, what was that like? Watching it seemed very physical. I thought there was a lot of holding on ball screens. Did you? Was there fatigue in the second half? What was it like to finish that game just from you played 37 minutes, so you played almost the whole game.
I was definitely fatigued, but, when you're that close to winning, you just got to keep fighting through. And, of course, they were grabbing, but you try not to worry about that. You try to just keep playing through the contact and I just kept looking at the clock when we had the lead, and I'm just like, we just got to pull through. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So in the huddle, when you're shooting the ball like that, do coaches, do players, teammates keep telling you to shoot the ball? Like, are they like, LJ, I'm gonna get you the ball?
For sure. My teammates do a good job encouraging me to shoot the ball when I have it going, and they do a good job finding me as well. The coaches run the sets for me when I'm going, so it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, LJ, we need to give some props to our front court because the guards have really been carrying the team just from a production standpoint. But the last 2 games, the front court has been unbelievable. Jalen, Flo, I think Caleb played great off the bench. Josh gave us some great minutes. He has 5 rebounds. And then, we also need to throw Langston Love in there, even though he's a guard. But, the performance of those guys defensively and controlling the glass, 17 offensive rebounds, just an incredible effort by those guys to keep possessions alive. And that's really a key to why we end up winning.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a collective effort today. It can't always just be the guards. I feel like that's hard to sustain over a long period of time as the season goes on. So,
yeah, for sure, man. Well, hey, congratulations. Sleep well tonight. You get some rest before. Is he gone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We lost LJ. Hey, great to hear from you.
Unknown caller.
Okay, he may be calling back. That man.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, great to hear from LJ. He was terrific tonight, man. He just really. What did he end up having? Like 17 at the half, or maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 19.
19 at the half.
He had 19 at the half.
Yeah. So yeah, he ends up making. Man, that was a tough floater that he made.
Yep.
In the second half, that was a big shot.
Actually, I can reconnect you, LJ, real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, LJ. We were talking about your second half. I think you had 19 points at halftime, and then in the second half, you had that really big tough shot in the lane at a key point. I can't remember. I think we were only up 5 at the time, so maybe that put us back up 7.
They trimmed it a little bit for sure.
And then you get to the free throw line. Are you? I know you probably got to be beating yourself up a little bit with the. I mean, we're talking all positives here, but are you like? Upset that when you go 1 for 2 from the free throw line, does that bother you, or is that you're just like, hey, you're gonna miss some? LJ, you there? Okay, I think Jacob's trying to reconnect him. Well, while he's reconnecting him, what'd you think of Kansas? Like, Grady Dick was terrific.
Hello.
Hey, LJ,
Hello?
how you doing? You there?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, thanks for calling back. We were just asking you, when you miss a free throw, does that frustrate you? Because, you're such a good shooter. I think, you were in the 90s to start the year. You missed a couple in conference play. Is that kind of – is it just a fatigue issue? Your legs are tired and you just lose a little bit of your form when you go to the line?
Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't use as much legs as I needed to. It's definitely frustrating because I know I shoot a lot of free throws every single day.
Right.
And sometimes I go probably 10, 20 minutes without a miss from the free throw line. So whenever I get out there, I expect to make all of them.
Yeah. Well, as a team, you were great. 20 for 25 tonight. So that was terrific and a big reason why the Bears ended up winning. Yep. Hey, congratulations. Sleep well, and we'll see you Saturday. We'll be there cheering you on.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Yes,
LJ.
sir.
Appreciate you.
So I wanted to look. I was looking at, while you were asking questions, we were 37% from the floor. And so when we shoot like that, those 17 offensive rebounds are big because they shot almost 50% from the floor. And so when you're rebounding the ball like that and getting those second chance, we got up 10 more shots than they did. And so those are big. And every one of them, I know that Caleb only got credit for a couple of rebounds, but I feel that the rebounds he did get were huge.
Yeah. And
we ended up converting on both of them, I believe.
He played like a man.
Yeah.
He and that last foul on him that Jalen Wilson drew, I thought was a terrible call. I think he couldn't have defended it any better.
No, I agree. He got
off to a little bit of a rough start. He bobbled a few rebounds. I think it led to some easy buckets for them. But his second half performance was terrific. That he and Flo I thought did just such a tremendous job switching and making things difficult. Now Kansas, Bill Self's a great coach. He got, a lot of things at the rim. I think, Grady Dick was 6 for 8 from 2-point shots. Jalen Wilson 7 for 9. They got a lot at the rim in the second half. But, we did a good job of covering them up from 3. Jalen Wilson 3 for 7. Grady Dick 2 for 5. The rest of the team was 0 for 7. We just didn't let them get going from 3, which was a big key. Yeah. So they're scoring from 2, but we had 9 threes. They only had 5. And like you mentioned, the offensive rebounds was massive. We got a call. Jacob, who do we got?
Yes, we do. I believe we got Matt in D.C. here.
Hey, Matt. Welcome to the SicEm 365 postgame call-in show. What'd you see tonight?
I saw a amazing team that I think finally got past the days of where we would be beating Kansas at home late into the game, and then we choked it away year after year after year, whether the moment was too big for us, even with, like, great teams, all the, like those 2012, 2014, 2016 teams. And now 2 years in a row, we took care of Kansas. And it's always been like, that asterisk up there, like, you're always going to split with them, but, like, is the moment going to be too big for us? And something clicked tonight. And the fact that we shot 37%, because usually when you play Kansas, you got to shoot great. You got to make your free throws, and you're going to need some luck because the refs are going to, give them the calls. And tonight somehow the calls are going our way. Yep. Year after year over the last decade, we'd have a packed arena and we would just fail, and then the fans wouldn't come back. But tonight you had the whiteout, you had the students, everything clicked, you cashed in, and I'm just happy that maybe we got over that kind of Kansas hump where we're not scared of them anymore. It's not a big thing because, coming off the national championship the last few years, something clicked. We played great. The fact that we shot 37% is insane. We won a game. You shouldn't beat anyone shooting 37%. And I think earlier in the year I was kind of worried about, we lost to Iowa State, which, they beat us. Then we lose to K-State and TCU. And at the time, like, man, these teams aren't any good. Now we see, those teams are very good. And now we've put off, 5 straight in a row. And so, let's keep building toward March. And just hell of a game, hell of a time. And let's go get Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need a big crowd on Saturday. There's going to be some Arkansas fans here. They travel. So. But, hey, we got to send them home sad. That's just how it needs to be. I think one thing I wanted to comment about just from Kansas, the mental aspect of playing them. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've now beaten them 4 out of the last 7 times. Yep. And, we've beaten them 3 times in a row in Waco. The days of, like, feeling like Kansas is going to come in here and get a win or over, I think that they now know that, you're probably going to lose when you come to Waco, and that's the way it should be. I mean, their program is at the point where I don't care whose name's on the jersey. Yeah. If you come to Waco, you should lose when you come to Waco. Yep. And the crowd was phenomenal. It's going to be even better in Tiny when that gets done. Yep. Just a great call, Matt. We got another call, Jacob.
Yes, we do. We got Cam in Arlington.
Hey, what's up, Cam? How you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
Good. What's up?
We won't cut you off this time. We'll let you get the full thoughts.
No. Oh, no, it's okay. I just thought Langston Love off the bench was huge. He's been having, he hasn't been himself the last few games, and it was glad to see him get going. And then LJ Cryer, great first half, slow in the second, but we can live with that.
Yeah, Langston was big. He had the fresh legs, and he made the mistake where he traveled in the corner, and even if he didn't travel, it was just a tentative play. But then after that, he was awesome, and every time he got Joseph Yusefu on him, he took advantage. He used his big body, got to the rim, and made tough shots, or got to the free throw line where he converted 4 for 4 of his free throws. He was huge. Yep. He also baited Jalen Wilson into that 4th foul. Remember that, or the 3rd foul? That was a big play. Yeah.
And that go ahead.
Oh, my bad. He lowered his shoulder all night, and we finally got that one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Great team performance. There's a lot of heroes. I think Jalen Bridges was the Ken Palm MVP, and I agree with that. But LJ Cryer was huge. Yep. Obviously, Langston Love. We talked about Flo Thamba, Adam and Keontae. They did a good job, taking care of the ball for the most part. Only 9 turnovers. That's great. And, Keontae with 3 assists and 0 turnovers. That's terrific. He ends up going 4 for 5 from the free throw line. So even though he had a tough shooting night, he did make some really big shots, especially getting to the line at key times. That was huge.
Yeah, and Langston hit that. I think it was Jalen who had the tip out 3 to Langston. Yep. That was a huge shot because they were narrowing the gap, and he stepped up and was confident. It looked good coming off his hands, and it hit the bottom of the net, which is what we needed it to do.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but we really need Langston, Josh, and Keontae. Mm-hmm. I think they're the key to our upside. Obviously Jalen Bridges is playing terrific too. He's put together since Big 12 play. Listen to this. He is since Big 12 play, He's got a 133 offensive rating, which is number 1 in the conference. He's number 1 in effective field goal percentage. He's number 6 in offensive rebounding percentage. He's number 9 in defensive rebounding percentage. He's number 17 in turnover rate, taking care of the ball. He's number 6 in block percentage. He's number 2 in 2-point field goal percentage. And he's number 12 now in 3-point percentage. Now he's 37% in conference play. So he's just been fantastic and just keeps getting better, and just big reason why Baylor is on this 5-game winning streak.
So I'm not going to call anybody out because that's not my style. But if you haven't posted in that Jalen Bridges apology thread or appreciation thread, you need to do so, because he was taking a lot of heat.
Yeah.
He was taking a lot of heat, and he was off. He wasn't shooting the ball well.
He didn't play well in Vegas, but a lot of it was foul trouble, early foul trouble.
But man, he is our X factor.
Oh, he's been terrific,
and he's been unbelievable.
And our best defender. He's great.
Absolutely.
He's great on defense.
Yep.
Yeah. Big time. Cam, you got anything else to say? Is Cam gone?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. That's good. Hey, thanks, Cam. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
All right, 254-339-1122 is the number. Please call in if you got some comments or some questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, so I want to go back to Matt and DC's comment.
Yeah.
He was talking about us shooting 37%. While he was on his little spiel, I went back and pulled up the shooting percentage from Oklahoma, and we shot 36% that game. So we have won 2 pretty ugly shooting performances in a row, and that shows that the toughness is getting there, because I know that the first couple of games in conference I felt like we were soft, playing that Olay defense, just giving up the easy layups, and we gave up a couple tonight,
right?
Little backdoor cuts, and Grady got some easy dunks on the baseline, but they are much more few and far between than they were those first couple of conference games.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Grady Dick, I think Kansas has 2 NBA players. I think Grady Dick's going to be an NBA player, and I think Jalen Wilson's an NBA player too.
Yeah. When's the last time that a Kansas team, and their top 3 are really good, but when is the last time that they've had this thin of a team? I mean, you look
they've got so much 5-star talent on the bench. For some reason, Bill Self's just not trusting them.
Yeah.
MJ Rice is a 5-star. Ernest Uday is a 5-star. They've got guys that are sitting on the bench not playing for them that I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't just worked into the rotation, more. But
you've got their, so you take out their top 3, everyone else scored 8.
Right.
That's insane.
And McCullough's a great defender, and he is a tough kid, but he's not been very efficient on offense. Like they've really relied on Jalen Wilson, Grady Dick, and KJ Adams, but KJ did not play well tonight. Or Baylor just had a great game plan for him.
I agree.
Like, he didn't get anything. He ends up with 4 points. He plays 28 minutes and only 3 rebounds. Just virtually non-existent from a production standpoint. And he's a guy that's just, had some huge games for them in some of their wins. Just looking back here, he scores, he had 17 at Kansas State. They lost that game, but he was, 22 points against Oklahoma, 15 against Iowa State, 14 against West Virginia, 14 against Texas Tech, 14 against Oklahoma State. And the last 2 games, he scored 4 points against TCU and 4 points against Baylor. So I think, just the scouting on him has been good, and they've done a good job just, keeping him in check. We got a call, Jacob.
Yes, we do. We have John in Waco here to talk about the game.
Hey, John, thank you for calling in.
Hey, guys, it's actually Don, not John. Sorry about that.
Hey, that's
Hey,
right.
Don.
Hey,
What's up, Don? How you doing, man?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good.
What's that?
I just said, what's going on, my man?
Well, Chris, okay. Chris, I'm on the Jalen bandwagon. I wasn't at the beginning of the season, but gosh, these last few games, he's been playing lights out, and that's, you know what? It's you can see the confidence. I think you mentioned that, in him as he plays more and just gets more comfortable, with his surrounding cast. That's a big part of it. Probably why he wasn't playing so well. And for the life of me, guys, why do they try to bounce the ball to Flobamba in the middle of the lane? It drives me crazy. They do the pick and roll. He goes down, and they bounce it to him. He's too tall. Man, feed him up high. It just, it's crazy. And then Grady Dick. Oh, my gosh. That guy's amazing, but he had so many easy baskets. And, the defense, he just backdoored him. He would sit there in the corner, and then nobody was on him. I mean, there were so many easy baskets for him.
Yeah, he does a good job moving without the ball. Because it makes it it's dangerous because you have to guard the three with him. And I think if Jalen keeps shooting the three ball like he does or like he's capable and has been shooting it lately, then you're gonna start to see that with Baylor. We'll get a lot of backdoors with him, and he's really good when he's going to the rim. He's almost never misses.
I agree.
Well, tell me about the flow. What's the deal? I mean, what are they trying to bounce to him? I mean,
yeah.
Any suggestions there?
I feel that he comes and sets those high screens at the top of the key, and tries to roll off of them and go towards the basket, and maybe the defender's closing out with their hands up, and so they're looking for a bounce pass. That's the only thing I could really think of. I have seen a couple of bobbles, but there's been a couple times. His first basket tonight was a tough catch and a finish.
Yeah,
and so
great play.
we got to give him some credit. The hands have gotten better over the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
So with as hard as he's playing, he's earned some looks inside, going for that. Maybe you'd look for a couple of lobs, but also I think some of the low passes have worked in some cases, and you just kind of live with it when you got them.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it already. Yeah. We've said it twice, but let's say it a third time. Like his effort on the glass, again, only 2 rebounds, but that does not tell the full story. Mm-hmm. He kept so many possessions alive with a tip or, just occupying like 2 Kansas defenders, wearing them out, which makes their legs tired, which makes them less effective on offense. And his defense switching was unbelievable. He was so active.
He was closing out
so
hard.
active.
Yeah. Agree.
He he ends up with like 165 offensive rating. He didn't turn the ball over. He made the only shot he took. He was 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He's been shooting. He's almost 80% in conference play from the free throw line, which is huge.
He's been really impressive at the free throw line. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is a great show, man. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Don.
Sir. Thanks for calling in.
Good to hear from you.
So to talk about Bridges for a second, I think that says a lot about our coaching staff, and I don't think that there is a better coaching staff in the country for a player that is struggling, because he is going to trust his players and give them opportunities to, play through the slump.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we're at. And I don't think there's not another coach that you want behind you giving you encouragement than Scott Drew.
Yeah, very positive, encouraging coaches. All right, we got another call, Jacob?
I believe, yes. We've got a record-breaking number of calls for my time behind the desk for these post-game shows, by the way.
Sir.
That's what you get when you get a win over Kansas. But we got Kyle in Waco.
Hey, Kyle. Good to see you tonight.
Hey, first of all, game ball goes to you two guys for turning the tide on the officiating in the second half.
We
tried.
We worked it hard. Yeah. Hey, kudos to Sermons, man. Sermons, teeing up self. A lot of officials won't do that, and I love that from him. He's not going to take any nonsense from these coaches.
No, well, he was wanting it. He was wanting it for about 3 minutes there, and finally got it. It was a really dumb time to.
Yeah. It was.
To do that. It really hurt his team, and just 2 quick observations. I think this Kansas team, I mean, you can tell they're, of course, Wilson is special. The rest of them, and Dick, of course, is amazing for a freshman, but they just don't have a great inside player yet.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Adams is going to become that, but I mean, you got a 5th-year, 23-year-old guy in Thamba, and so, I mean, he was just extraordinary. And Bill and I were talking about that on the way home. We felt like it was his best game of the year, for a total package. And they just don't have a great inside game, and so they're dependent on their guards. And they scored, but secondly, it also says a lot about how good TCU is this year, to blow them out. But I have said from day one, and I posted about 3 weeks ago, and probably hardly anybody probably saw it because I don't post very often. But Bridges has got talent, and I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And I agree with you. Kudos to Scott Drew. We do have the best coach in the country right there. So without a doubt. So anyway, I'm really proud of these guys.
Oh, me too. A great win, and with Bridges, the one thing that's so great about him is like he's just so efficient, and like he just seems like he just makes the smart basketball play every single time. So even when he wasn't shooting the 3-ball well, he doesn't turn it over. He hits the glass really hard. He makes his layups. He makes difficult shots in the paint. He makes his free throws. It was 4 for 5 from the free throw line today. Yep. So he's just a complete player, and he gets steals. I mean, he's got active hands. He gets blocks. I mean, he does everything that you want a basketball player to do.
Yep.
Without a doubt. And then my only other comment is that we were driving down. I said we need a really big night out of Flagler.
Yep.
And which we got. And then the surprise to me of the whole night was Langston Love.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely was thrilled. And boy, did he pick a good game to show up. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm going to hang, but thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate the call. Yeah, good stuff. We got anything else on hold, Jacob, right now? Or
Yeah, the hopper's actually pretty loaded right now.
Let's roll through them. Let's go.
I believe we've got either David or Dan. It's hard to determine from the description here in the screening, but I'm going to go with David right now in San Antonio. Let's see what we got.
Okay, welcome to the post-game call-in show.
Hey, thanks. This is actually Dan, but
Hey, Dan.
I appreciate you taking the card. Hey, our turnover rate the past 6 games is sub 20%. We've won 5 of those 6. The 6 games before that, it was above 20%. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the improved ball handling, better decision making. What's been the cause of the improved turnover rate? Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I think that's been a huge emphasis. Yeah, I think after the Marquette and Iowa State games, I bet a lot of emphasis in practice was on that very thing because I don't know about TCU. Were we not good against TCU in turnovers?
Hold on, give me a sec.
So with 15 times. Yeah, we turned the ball over 15 times against TCU. And, Kansas State 12 times. So, yeah, I mean, after that, we've really been, I think, working on that, and it shows.
I feel like a lot of the lazy passes, the passes over the top, and it's just kind of calmed down. We're being very intentional with our passing, and that's so huge because you can't turn the ball over.
Yeah,
especially when we are having some rough shooting games, every possession must matter. So we need shots, not turnovers. Especially with the way we're offensive rebounding.
Absolutely. And I think even though they're at the bottom of the conference, West Virginia, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma, to win those games on the road and to get their best shot. I mean, West Virginia was a desperate team when they played us, and I thought we got their best shot. Yep. I thought Texas Tech was a incredibly desperate team when they played us, and we got their best shot. Oklahoma, same thing. I mean, we're gonna get those, on the road. We're gonna get like every team's best shot, but I just think those road wins are so huge, and we got another opportunity next Monday night, big Monday game at Texas.
I'll be there.
I'll be there as well,
sir.
It's gonna be a fun game, and then after that, we get a couple games at home that's against the bottom of the conference. We get Texas Tech at home, and then we get Oklahoma at home. So hopefully we get some games that we can continue to get this winning streak going. If we could build this thing up to 8, 9, 10 games, then we're in great shape for a really high seed. And everyone was like despondent after the 3 losses, but now we're looking like I'm almost a surefire NCAA team at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think we've won. I've got 2 things right now. So one, you look at the top 11.
Yeah,
we've got 6 of the top 11 in our conference, and also. You're always the master at throwing shade, and I wanted to cut in earlier, and then we had a call, but you made a comment about McCullough and how good he is defensively. You know who's missing him? Tech's missing him because they're 0-7. So I just wanted to throw a little bit of shade myself.
They are 0-7. Jacob, we have any other calls?
Yes, we do. We've got T-Rex right here.
Hey,
I knew it was coming.
T-Rex? How you doing?
Hey,
Yeah, as a former Kansas resident for about 6.5 years, I'd like to tell Bill Self and his team that he can take his personal property taxes and that big L back to Dorothy land, boy! Fake birds! Woo! Lawrence is burning like it's August 21st, 1863 all over again. SicEm! Yeah, don't Google that or you're going to be a little offended. But that's all right. Good history lesson for you, though, if you're into that.
We had a conversation for about an hour in the car on the way to Oklahoma about that.
About this, okay.
Yep,
yeah.
He let us all know everything.
Hey, I'm just a man of many talents.
Yeah.
I just want to give a few shout-outs. First off, unbasketball related, shout-out to women's tennis. Hard-fought, 2 wins today, doubleheader. Shout-out to them for fighting, starting their season off 4-0. So big shout-out to them. But back to basketball. Bunch of shout-outs here. Shout-out to all the fans who couldn't make it or had extra tickets and got those tickets into my hands and to other people's hands so we could get more students in. Student tickets sold out the day they went live, and it showed how many students we had in there, and it shows what a home court advantage means. So shout-out to those fans. Big props to them. Get butts in seats. Shout-out to Baylor, even though it was a last-minute thing. Shout-out to them for finally releasing the GA tickets to the students. I know it took a while. I wish they would have done it earlier in the week, but shout out to making the right call with about an hour and a half before the game. So shout out to them. Shout out to security for letting us in the door about 30 minutes early. So that was nice. Shout out to all the students for taking their books and throwing them out the window and coming to school. The school of beating the hell out of Kansas. You can study later. Shout out to all the fans who showed up.
And shout out to the Guardian Angels. Shout out to the Guardian Angels.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was going to be my closer. You took my closer.
Oh,
you
sorry.
just ruined my whole fit.
Yeah,
That's all right. That's all right. Shout out to the Guardian Angels. Bill Self, man.
That was some great shtick.
Angel of death is upon you now. SicEm.
Yes, sir.
So for those that didn't see this on television, hopefully they gave it some love on television.
It was great.
There were about 5 students that wore referee jerseys,
little halos
with halos over their head, Self's Guardian Angels.
Yep.
And
Genius.
And I got a chance to talk to Sermons before the game, and I held up the 8-on-5 sign.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, you got to give us a good whistle tonight. And he's like shaking his head. He's like, yeah.
And the only thing he said was talking about 3 seconds in the lane, and this is the team that doesn't camp out in the lane.
Yeah, he likes the 3-second call. He likes the 3-second sign, but I didn't have to use that tonight. One thing I'll make a comment about too is that was the least amount of Kansas fans I've ever seen in Waco.
I agree. I do feel like the last couple of games against Kansas have been on a Saturday.
Yeah,
this is on Monday.
True.
But it's still 9 versus 17.
Maybe 300 Kansas fans, and normally it's like they bring 1,000 or 2,000.
And when they got loud, we started chanting right over them.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, Baylor really took control of that game early and kept a lead. The whole game. They did take a lead briefly in the second half, but Baylor responded with a tremendous run thanks to Langston Love and company. Great win. Anything else, Jacob? We got one more?
We got one more right now. We got Jake in Charlotte.
Hey, Jake. How you doing? You're staying up late. Are you in Charlotte?
Fellas. I am. It's Tuesday here, so I'm going to try to make it short. I got to get to bed.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I hate to follow T-Rex because he's a tough act to follow, and he took all the shout-outs. I don't have any shout-outs left. But a couple of things I wanted to ask you about, Ashley. Get your expert opinion. One, I felt like Oklahoma on Saturday had a lot more wide open looks from 3, especially Groves in the first half. Yeah. And I didn't really see Kansas have but maybe 2 or 3 looks. And one of those was McCullough on an offensive rebound where he had that corner 3.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
Second chance at it and missed it.
Yep.
2, exactly. But I don't feel like they really I'm curious if that was a matchup thing or maybe just a little more intensity and effort thing. And then secondly, I think if an outsider were to look at this lineup and see 3 guards, you'd question their ability to rebound. And yet, y'all talked about a lot tonight how great this team is rebounding, especially on the offensive end. I'm curious if there's what is the secret to it? I'm going to guess it's Bridges and flow. And 2, if the coaches track how there's a hockey assist where you pass to someone and then they pass to someone and they score. But if there's a stat or if they follow how many times Flo tips it or Bridges tips it and someone else maybe gets credit for the offensive rebound, but just their activity on the glass. creates a chance for someone else to get a rebound and second chance point. So curious what you think about both of those things.
Yeah, great questions. So what was the first question?
So I pulled up stats. It was about getting open looks from three.
Yeah. So my impression, you were there live as well. Tanner Groves was like 28% shooting threes on the season. So I think that was maybe a little bit by design to give it. And he missed his first three.
Yeah, I think the only guy that you worry about shooting the three from OU is Sherfield. You don't want him shooting open looks, but other than they're not. So I think you're giving up looks there, but you don't want Grady or
Wilson and
shooting.
Grady,
are
much better shooters. So I think that was probably more of a scouting report design. I mean, you always give up something when you try to shut down a team.
Yep.
Now, in the offensive rebounding, it's like death taxes, and Baylor's going to be top 10 in offensive rebounding percentage. I mean, listen to this. Like, since 2014, Baylor has been in the top 10 in offensive rebounding percentage every year. Wow. And I remember when Rico Gathers was here, I was like, okay, when Rico graduates, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But it happens every year. And this year, it's Flo and Jalen and Caleb, but I mean, that is emphasized in practice, and it's a huge reason for our success. I mean, we always get over 35% of our misses, and that just leads to, we can shoot 37% when you get 41% of your offensive rebounds, and you can still win against a top 10 team, which is what we did tonight. So that was a great question. What was the third question? I can't remember.
I remember.
All right, we covered two.
Because I got on the thread, and there were a couple of comments on the thread. So Hill Crunchy Ranchy Bear said, interesting to see Cryer on Dick quite a bit tonight.
Yeah.
Is that by design?
Yeah. Did a pretty good job on him, at least from the 3-point range with his quickness. Not bothering him quite a bit. Well, we've gone long enough. Do we have any other calls, Jacob? Are we done?
We can take one more call.
Let's take one more call. Yeah.
All right, we got, I believe, Franco in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Franco,
yes, sir.
What's going on, my man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I got to tell you, I've been following Baylor basketball now for about 13 years since I moved down to Texas, and I'm a Northeast guy. I'm actually a Big Ten guy. I follow Rutgers basketball, but I got to tell you, there's a beauty to watching Baylor play with the defense, the rebounding, and not so much, not just that, but the outside scoring. That's just amazing. Kudos to the crowd for coming out tonight. It was a great environment, and I just I see nothing but great things for this team this year. I think they have a lot going for them, and it's just I'm incredibly proud of the fact that they just showed up tonight. It was just they could have buckled down. They could have definitely once the game was tied, they could have definitely done something that just dwindled, but they didn't, and they definitely showed their true colors. And I see nothing but great things from this team. And I hope you guys do too. I think they're definitely going to be contenders at the end of the year.
I agree.
Great comments.
100%.
Man, you got two teams that you root for that are kind of opposite in some ways. Yeah. Rutgers is terrific defensively and really grinds out a lot of games, but they're a little bit a tougher team to watch offensively. Right. And Baylor's kind of the opposite. Baylor can play great offense at times, and
you said we're in the 90s defensively still.
Yeah. So, man, if you could take Baylor's offense and put, Rutgers' defense, then you probably have a surefire national champion.
I know. A sure national champion, but I get it. I get it. Trust me. I wish for the shooting guards. I do, and hopefully someday. But, yeah, Baylor's nailing it right now. So,
man, awesome. I tell you who I love on your team is Clifford. I don't know how to pronounce his last name on Rutgers. I mean, he's just super active, and love watching him play. On Rutgers, Clifford Omari. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the call. Great stuff. Well, listen, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, LJ Cryer, for calling in.
Yes.
Thank you for all the great calls. Thank you for Jacob staying late, and Chris, I appreciate you, man, so much. And we really brought it tonight. And, obviously the team is the important part, but everyone plays a role, as Scott Drew says. And I think, having an energetic environment and fans that are vocal and enthusiastic really does make a difference. Yep. And that gave the team energy to get off to the great run and get off to this good start. And they just, were able to sustain that to a huge win against Kansas. Yep. So hopefully we'll see you there at the Farrell Center against Arkansas. You can't go 35-5 until you go 16-5. So let's beat Arkansas. SicEm Bears.
SicEm Bears.